Welcome back, punters. Another week, another episode of Tipster.
Week
Mike,
8.
Week 8.
Yeah.
It's week 8.
Yeah, those paychecks keep coming in, so I keep turning up.
That's right. Exactly. And of course, it's Eagle Farm across the road.
Yeah.
You ever been to Eagle Farm?
No,
No,
I
do,
haven't. I love punting there, though.
Yeah.
I like it. Good track.
Oh, that's great.
Spacious.
That's great. I mean, been to Doomben, haven't got across the road to Eagle Farm. Obviously, different tracks, so
Yeah.
it's good. We've got some focus on the racing up north, which obviously headlines things with the Kingsford Smith and the Derby the Queensland Derby. So we'll be
Cracking day racing up there. Should be
cracking
good.
day racing, our Tipster Racing Form Guide. If you're looking for Eagle Farm tips, you want to check that segment out. We've got the guys, actually just guys on this one who are going red hot at Eagle Farm.
That'd be good.
Then we're going to look at one of those guys going red hot, none other than Chris Nelson.
Chris Nelson, and he talks to the Doomben Eagle Farm thing as well and
He
gives a bit
does.
of insight into how to find a winner at Eagle Farm, which is fantastic. So make sure you stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, great insights there too, and actually some early oil in the big derby too. So
Yeah,
make sure you hang around for that one. We're going back to Mick's Masterclass.
No hat, though.
No hat.
Nah,
We've,
Mrs. didn't like the hat, so,
yeah, that's
so
it.
it's gone.
The fan club actually, the fan mail came and said we love Mick, but we don't like the hat. So
Thanks, Mum.
they can't see enough
Awesome.
of your face. There
Fantastic.
we go. Thanks for that, Mrs. Gannon. We're introducing a new one. We'll leave that out right now. We'll come to it later, but you don't want to miss it. It's certainly going to help you if you're looking for smart punters to follow, and it gives you a bit of an idea of what to look for. Other than that, or as always, if you're watching this and you don't want to miss this episode, which you don't
Subscribe.
want to do, subscribe, the little bell, tap it, follow the prompts.
It's not hard.
Not hard.
Get into it.
So if you're looking for horse racing tips at Eagle Farm, Mike, this is the segment to look at.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't go away right at this point. We're looking at the best, the most profitable Eagle Farm tipsters over the last 180 days.
Yep.
And we sort of slide the dial across a bit there just to make sure there's a minimum tip number and so forth.
Yeah.
And this is what we've come up with.
50 plus tips there. We've got Sand Groper on top.
Sandgroper
WA.
from WA,
Yeah.
killing it at Eagle Farm.
Yeah, as you do.
Look, Sandgroper's been on the site from day dot.
Yeah.
Pretty much since, actually about 2010, so about a year after we launched.
GTO veteran.
GTO veteran. He actually did a bit of content for us back in the early days, believe it or not. That was before Michael was around in looking at content. But look, the amazing thing was that he keeps a massive black book, and he doesn't just keep the black book, he writes detailed notes.
Yeah.
And that's where he's actually getting his content from. So,
Outstanding.
look, it shows here on the board, 49% pot over 6 months is not an easy feat. That's
outstanding.
Outstanding effort.
Who
So,
else we got there? Greg Splitter from the Telegraph.
Yes.
Super Racing.
yeah, so he appeared
Does a good
last
job.
week. Yeah, appeared last week.
Just a regular.
180 days, Rosehill tips. He was on the board. He's on the board for Eagle Farm.
Yep.
180. Puts a lot of tips in.
Yeah.
But clearly knows what he's on about.
Yeah, old mate Howard Walter there from Best Bets.
Yeah, Howard does a great job.
Yeah.
Howard, he touches base with us regularly through Twitter, and he
Eagle
does
Farm.
a good job.
Eagle Farm's his favourite track. Robert Heathcote, favourite trainer.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go. Found a bit of that online.
So
and
he's on
stuff.
he's on home ground here, and Stephen Rogers there too from the Daily Telegraph.
Yep.
Look, Stephen uses a whole bunch of stuff. So another black booker, actually frames his own markets.
Not easy to do that.
He's been around for 35 years, so you don't do that unless you're doing something right. A couple of interesting things too. You can tell he's really into stats. So back markers tends not to look at backing him too much. Obviously, the
Smart
risk
man.
around those. Looks at low strike rates on runners. Probably steers away from those,
Yep.
and then looks for the sort of the higher probability things like dynamic runners with gun jockeys on it, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're looking for someone who knows his stuff, Stephen Rogers is definitely one of those
And he's got a quote
guys.
for us as well. We've got in touch with him. What is it?
Yeah, so that quote is, look...
Well, you don't go broke back in winners?
you
Or
don't
what is it?
No, it's, in terms of win only,
All duck, no dinner?
all duck, no dinner. Jeez,
That's it.
that's where you mate, get you out of trouble there. All duck, no dinner, got to love it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't obviously goes hard or goes home is what I'd
Yeah, I
probably
think
say.
you see on Twitter sphere, we talk about the Maggi noodles, baked beans, all that kind of stuff. We've all been there.
There we go. Chris Nelson, we're going to talk a bit more about him in a second.
We'll chat
but
to him soon.
He's flying there at Eagle Farm, 13%
Someone
from
to follow.
118 tips.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So with Eagle Farm being the big focus, Mike, bloke like Chris Nelson killing it at the track,
Yep.
who else are we going to talk to?
He's the man.
He's
He's
the
the man
man.
in the know.
He's a man, and not only is he flying at Eagle Farm, his whole Queensland Metrop stats, which is where he focuses, are outstanding.
Pretty impressive stuff.
7 days flying, 180 days flying, whatever way you cut it. Chris is going strong.
Yep.
Let's talk to him.
Let's hear from him now.
G'day, Chris. How you going?
Very well, thanks, Damian. How's yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Obviously, the big Derby day coming up on Saturday, and geez, what a time to be cracking it like you are at the moment, mate. 13% profit on turnover at Eagle Farm over the past 6 months, and that's, of course, using starting prices. Obviously, you're showing that you know a thing or two about this Eagle Farm track, mate. And look, as you'd imagine, coming up to the track for the first time in a little while, the punters probably looking to have their first bet of the year. What words of advice have you got for them, mate, before they come into the punt?
Damien, it's funny. It's pretty simple. My words of advice are for them, and this is only from my personal viewpoint, of course. Just take it like the track it is. It's people, I think, try to look for issues with the track, and is the rail off? Is the rail okay? Is the outside off? It's a big, wide, spacious track. Just because they get to the outside in the straight, most times, doesn't mean that the rail's off. I mean, they spread, and you want them to spread as much as they can. And you don't want to be going for rails runs if you're going to run into a dead end. So I think a lot of the bias that people talk about and is overplayed at Eagle Farm. That's on a personal note. I know that people will say the track's too firm, and that might well be the case. And we do get horses that seem to handle it better than others on other occasions. I mean, you take, for instance, Georgie's Pride, a horse like that from Desley's Forster's stable. Apache Chase, another one. They seem to love racing at Eagle Farm. So it is a little bit horses for courses at times, but my only advice would be, if you think something's going to win, don't get put off by the fact that it hasn't won a race at Eagle Farm. And we're going to get a stack of horses this Saturday that, of course, have never seen Eagle Farm in their lives.
That's outstanding, Chris, mate. That's really good information. So, mate, obviously you do some great work with SEN. We see your stuff on Best Bets as well, SEN being on the radio. Mate, give us an idea, a bit of an understanding for the punters out there as to how the week looks for you and how you sort of come to your tips, obviously probably a few days out.
It is. With the Best Bets especially, they have to be done for Saturday by Wednesday at 12:30. So once the acceptances come out, and I can talk about this morning, they were very late. They didn't come out till about 10:30, most of the races, except for the main three. You've got to basically work off the noms. So once the noms come out Monday, you're sort of doing your form off those in. And looking back at past performances, I mean, I'm a big one for going back and looking over videos. So I've noted down the horses that I think have been good runs, and they go into a black book, of course, and then they spit out on the Wednesday morning. So I know the horses I'm looking for. I've done the speed maps off the noms, and then you've got to put it all together in a preview within about 2 hours. So it comes together okay. I wish I could work off the acceptances like everybody else, but it's the way it is, and I'm certainly not complaining. With the other meetings I do for SEN, you're talking midweek and a few other ones scattered around the place as well. They're a lot easier because I can do those off acceptances the night before or something along those lines. So, yeah, two sort of different ways that I have to do it, but both have been working okay at the moment. Fingers crossed.
You've been doing well, mate.
Geez, not much time to work on the 10 and the sunny coast there by the sounds of things, Chris.
Not enough.
No, I bet. Look, just to round it up, mate, obviously explosive Jack lining up to try and get his fourth interstate derby in a row. Quick one, what do you think his chances are and who's his main dangers, mate?
Well, I definitely think he's in with a chance, and I've got him in as the second pick in the race. Look, he's been travelling around a lot. You think it's going to catch up with him at some stage, but it hasn't as yet. I went with Senor Toba. I thought Senor Toba was very good in the rough habit. I mean, making ground from back in the field there wasn't easy. With criminal defence, of course, winning from up near the speed. So he's made the ground. He seems to have timed his run to perfection, or Chris Waller has. He hasn't been through an arduous Sydney Carnival or anything like that. The problem I had this morning or yesterday when the fields came out is he drew gate 21. But he will get back anyway, so I don't see that being a major issue. Eagle Farm is going to lap up. 2,400 metres he's going to lap up. And I think he's going to be very, very hard to beat. As will, at big odds, the stablemate Fortified, who's really coming good at the right time.
Oh, that's it. That's gold. Good insight, mate. Excellent stuff, Chris. Look, hey, all the best in the weekend, mate. I'm sure you're in line to keep that great form going there, and sure the punters are going to enjoy that early mail and those insights there for Eagle Farm on the weekend. Thanks again.
I hope so, guys. I hope you haven't jinxed me. I won't be able to talk to you again if I get no winners on Saturday.
I look forward to it, mate. Thank you so much.
We'll be talking. Good on you, Chris.
Thanks, guys. Thanks very much.
Bye, mate. Bye.
So last week in Mick's Masterclass, we looked at the Dutch betting calculator, or the Dutching calculator, as some like to call it. Look, Mike, lots of questions, queries and so forth about it.
Yeah.
So we'll be putting the link on the screen, so you don't have to email or whatever.
Makes it easy.
Makes it easy.
For us
Just type
mugs.
that in.
Beautiful.
But before we get to that point, and also we're going to do another demo in a sec, but before we get to that point, we're just going to reflect on something. So last week, Mike, do you remember who you tipped in that demo?
Sure do.
Let's just take a look, just to refresh our memories.
Horses I like. Hard against the second favourite spicy restaurant, but the first one I like is Remus, the $21 there, so I'll click that one. The next one I like is the 2. So we have Pyrominx, and the last one down there, My Snow Queen, which is the favourite. So I've got the 3 of them there.
And do you remember how that race ended up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
All right.
Complete fill-up.
Let's have a look.
This is getting home. It's Pyraminx and My Snow Queen. They're going to hit it together. Pyraminx just, I'd say, from My Snow Queen. She's got her nose down. That's an advantage. Remus is close up.
So there we go. And of course, the punters want another demo, and they also want to know where to get the calculator without having to write in and whatever.
And a couple of winners, of course.
And a few more winners. There we go.
There we go.
But so look, what are we going to do, Mike? How are we going to do this?
We'll throw Chris in the hot seat, and we'll use his tips for the Derby.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
we'll give it a shot, eh?
we'll give it a shot. Let's go through it. So here we are, just demonstrating with the Queensland Derby, using Chris's selections and horses to watch. So obviously sticking in Explosive Jack. Also spoke to St October. We're adding St October and down to Fortified. And then, of course, with the profit set, we're saying we want to make $100 on the race. And we can see there that the stakes are set accordingly. So we'll be spending $154 to return $254 and to profit $100. And the stakes are there. Alternatively, we can hit the spend button. We can say we want to spend $500, say. And again, the stakes have changed automatically. We're spending $500 to make a profit, in this case, of $326. So we're calling this one Know Before You Crow. Now, this one really is looking at giving some pointers, I guess, to punters who take tips and might get a little bit upset when they back a loser and so forth. And we're going to give some pointers to what to look for in the data, probably to manage your expectations more than anything.
Yeah, there's a bit to it, right? So, you get on social media and as a form analyst, so-called form analyst myself, you cop a bit of a bath from people from time to time, which is, fair enough if you have a bit of a shocker.
Yeah.
More than happy to cop half a spray here or there.
You could have given it back to me.
I could give it back, but, more face-to-face, and we're happy to give it back.
Yep.
On socials is not really my go. But a couple of examples, we've got here. You can jam those so far up your clacker. And then we'll leave it at that. But look, there's, and look, have a bit of fun with this. But the reality is, we're only trying to do our best.
Yeah,
and if you take a deep dive into a lot of these stats, you're going to find that most of these guys are performing pretty well. They don't really deserve the spray they get. But old mate's sitting there. He's had 457 mid-strength beers. He's on his way out.
That's a good point.
And the reality is, a lot of these sprays come from old mate's had too many schooners, and he gives you a spray, and then you wake up the next morning and you look back at old mate's stats. You go to the website, you wouldn't believe it. He's actually a lifetime winning, punter or tipster.
And the other example we've got up there on the screen at the moment with Richo was a very well-watched tweet that came out last year, I believe. And the interesting thing there is Richo was absolutely flying at the time, and the guy who gave him a bath obviously cottoned on a couple of his tips that did no good on the day, and then got the poos and went north.
The moral of the story was it know before you crow. Get on the site, check them out, go deep into those stats before you're giving someone a spray, or maybe just don't give them a spray at all. Maybe just don't follow them next week.
So the other thing, Mike, we want to highlight as well is if you're backing someone, they're showing a profit,
Yep.
you've backed them on the day, and you might have a blackout. is to just sort of know what to expect. So every punter has a different profile. Yeah. And look, we're just showing on the screen now a bit of a scatter graph. This is it's almost like a Richie Benaud moment where we're putting the stats on.
You've lost me.
What we're trying to show is that, as you can see, there's a line that goes through those, and there's a couple of things I want to point out if we just look at the ends. And at the end there, at the top on the left, you're seeing the tipsters who basically would have about a $10 to $20, $30 winner average price.
Yeah. And their strike rate's going to be lower.
If that's what you want, the strike rate's going to be lower. So be prepared to be patient.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the point.
And look, quite often with these guys, and there's a couple of guys on the site I follow myself. Michael J. Harness Tipster, classic example. You can go a couple meets without picking a winner, but he does his own stuff. And the next minute, he's picked four $12 shots in 2 days, and you're well in front again. So
exactly.
If you're gonna follow guys like that, obviously a bit of a risk there. You've got to stick strong and stay with them.
And if you want a winner every 2 tips,
take the $1.80 shot.
The average price there is between $2 and $3. Yeah. So sure, if you want someone who's tipping them in double figures, and then they're tipping every second tip a winner. Guess what, guys? You're not going to find them. So that's the message. The reality is there's a lot of sharp guys. They're going to have outs. There's lots of tip packages going through our site. They'll come back and write sort of abusive things from time to time. Everyone's going to have outs.
It's a good banner in time, but yeah.
Yeah. And if you think that there are tipsters who are going to tip winners every day and make you a profit every day,
dreaming.
Stop punting. But enjoy yourself anyhow. So that brings us to a close of another show. Tipster, Mike?
Yeah, how good, mate. I'll tell you what, we're up to Hero of the Week now. Got anything for me?
Yeah, I've got one I want to mention.
Yeah.
Kerry-Ann Morris gave birth to Stella Margaret Morris on the 27th of April.
Oh, yeah? How good's that?
Huge, and congratulations. 3 weeks later, comes out and does this.
Middle split comes for I Can Run. Black Hawk Joe's made a stack of ground. I Can Run moves up on the inside. I Can Run send it and I like me better. I Can Run hits the lead. I Can Run. Kerry-Ann Morris gets the Group 1.
So Kerry-Ann, there she is, driving home the win of the Group 1.
Unreal.
Regional Championship final out there at Menangle. Also the trainer.
Yeah, how impressive
and all that after, bringing a lovely daughter into the world. So
mate, I didn't leave the house for 3 weeks after my wife gave birth.
Yeah, that's right. You certainly went out there.
And on a side note, I was watching that race, and I've loaded up. Tip from me old mate Tommy.
Tommy Hard.
Yeah, loaded up on the one that's come second. So thanks Kerry-Ann. Well done. Outstanding.
Well, your hero of the week too then.
Yeah, my hero of the week, Mitch Beer.
Mitch Beer.
So he's over in New Zealand doing his thing. Pops in the bar, tries to yell, sneaky bartender, I've got a couple tips for you. Anyway, so he claims. Tips are 2 $14 winners, and but gets shoulders arms straight through to the keeper.
Oh,
no reply. So imagine that. You chime in, you say to the bird, listen, this is how good I'm going. I'm a horse trainer. Male model from wherever he is, Wodonga, Walbury, Wodonga down there, flying. Love a bucket of KFC. And, all right, so I'm going to tip you 2 winners. They both get up. Nothing. Geez, you're not going well, Mitch.
Tell you what, lucky bartender.
Training well.
Lucky bartender. I mean, maybe he's got to go back to the old, use lines over the bar and rather than tipping winners.
Leave me out.
Yeah, there we go.
Wouldn't know where to start.
Talking about tipping winners, it's time for Mixed Moral.
Well, we head to Randwick, race 7, April rain. Actually, just on Mixed Moral, no good last week.
I was going to leave that out just to make up for last week.
But look, we go to Randwick, April rain, gets to a bigger track. It's a good horse. It's only short, $2.30, but I think we're due a winner, so we'll get the job done.
Mixed Moral, April rain. Even though we're in May, that's okay. Just thought I'd throw that in. That's a wrap. Don't forget, if you want to know when this show drops, subscribe, the little bell down here on the YouTube page. Remember, if you're looking for horse racing tips, harness racing tips, greyhound racing tips, thegreattipoff.com is the site to go to. We're the hub. They're all on there. And if you don't know where to find them, go to the search bar, type in the name. You're going to find who you're looking for, and you can follow and do all those great things.
Sounds good to me.
Till next week. Signing off, Mick.
See you later.
We'll see you later.